All right. But you see my screen also.
Pachane.
Okay. The topic now, the Maya no say enhancing your abilities and talents through mentorship. Enhancing your abilities and talents through mentorship. And yes, yeah, about talents and abilities. Emma ye bra Eric Edema yen says ye ka talent ye ade bi nyame edi dua ye mu abra ya ba asase so. Enya ade a wahye da esua. Na mmom ye ade a ye wo no utumi ya ade kro no. And then there were abilities and skills and no ye ade a wo sua ukosua na aboa wo ma wo de aka wo talent no ho e de aye adwuma either for your own benefits and also for others benefits. Before obia betumi hu say our talent and our skill bi woni mu e was say or face certain things there obey you so sorry to say na adwen e bi emfa na say wonno aduane da o ma me pie o ka che say fa aduane we si so onnu abi da ba bo nwa so be keka bom no say asa ade we mitumi ye dada intino before obi betumi I just our talent and I saw the talent to be there are people who play factors and I say microphobia almost play factors be on a brabo whether the immediate environment and I say outwardly. See, I can't say mentoring Brofana said it's a reciprocal and collaborative at-will relationship that most often occurs between persons for the purpose of the mentee's growth, learning, and career development. Stieka mentoring na yewo nkrofo mienu a will play crucial part yewo mentor and a mentee no. Stieka mentor na ono na obua mpakọ na opese ni talent no show man nkrofo hu no ono na ochretre no kwan na ye ka mentee so eye obi a wafa obi di nesi nani so se ohwe no ama wesua no e de abo adwuma na so de aye na adwuma se ye ka say reciprocal a mentor can teach and then a mentee can also teach. For these two parties to work at hand no e was a no muti ekope ye can mention it can be formal and then informal so yemfa ya sorry dan no any example in an informal setting no a natural ebia mfa ho asompeni Joshua they be a friend or elder. It's because we have seen certain things in him that are natural, that portray say like that she be no to me they are sorry no akọ in him. Neka formal na akoye say ye njumemu ukoye no we a new person in the company. Ye the obi shells are ebia leader sorry. In fact say penyimu bi wo asori company nimu. Near de wakoma no o hwe no na wesua no in both settings baako aye natural and baako aye in a structured environment yeah some skills or the techniques via your mentoring na ye fa ho baako insia 6 your one-on-one, your group, your peer, your distance, and as a e-mentoring, your reverse mentoring, and your speed mentoring. CFA one-on-one mentoring, and no only in traditional mentoring, no. Ebia me say, I saw them honor. Meka say, oh, ebia 20 she, me pese me tunyo. Se no tunyo no, and that's all leading you no. Me fe. Until I would like to learn from her. This is me. Any on one-on-one, me they are all ya was sorry the man I say ABA or company no ya was some senior person do or company uba mu ya akra in fact national service personnel awako ejuma bi mu o hwe anaso usua nipa kro no personally, one-on-one. After your reverse mentoring, and no, the opposite side of the traditional mentoring, no, and no, who every a junior employee be our company man. I say in an environment be opinion move be a young, and I say often in be a free room, and flash mentoring, no, and no, just a short time. Celebrities maybe, for example. Oboy bi a wahwe ne movie bi anase wetie ne numi anase wehu ade bi for a short period of time. Nipa kono etumi fa so eya wo mentor. You've not learned about the person for a long time, but it's within a very short period of time bi. Ena wodi hu bibi ena usua anase wo fa bibi efri nipa kono. Na afa ya wo virtual mentoring. And no, it's not in a traditional and I say one-on-one environment. To me esua obi through virtual, to say in computer, see I use and I see in social media, see it takes place online. You can't have a one-on-one contact with the person, but you learn something from the person. And then your group mentoring, Chrome Hanum, for example, your group. There are people who have problems and then they meet in groups to learn or talk about themselves. Yawo nipa ba kwa obua ebia a group for omo no mensa omo pese omo achieve something in life. Yafa me de Ghana by example, as a teacher o pese o ye teachenia during your final exams, no. For be mentorship and I say menteeship. Demu kogu school be ebi for 10, 20, na demu kogu school. Then they give you teachers who are mentoring you to become a real teacher. In that aspect, as a group of people, it can even be say the head teacher and the lead mentee. So he being the lead mentee, he's mentoring you, that group of people amabaho. For future use. And then you will peer mentoring. And no, you say age mate, and I say colleague, bibi every colleague to use your talents or your knowledge in anything to excel. Your benefits, and I say in your mapa, you free mentoring. One, both mentee and mentoring na eboamu mienu na eboamu to me access information and I think advice every experienced professional be home. For someone to become a mentor, no, was a wunya nimdie bi every ewo ade bi ho. As I mentee ni oba besua every ho no. Afei so eboamu unya unim dia wo bibi ho no eni kosoro. Emma a boost or confidence in order to aspire in any field that person way and I say or talent corner one about my to me excel I think so about my to be a gain key skills to say communication. Me the Sami Bay example. Our ni company no. Ye name Sammy or you'll be on to me like ne as on pekasa mekanisa on pekasa. And it's one thing that they've realized say on pekasa. So Adam may eavesdrop on the conversation back with ni penny back and anon ne kasa and or encouraging to say for him to be able to learn also otumi ekasa during meetings. Inti ebia omo ye meeting na or tise obi ke bia either you add on and answer or nimdi and answer subtraction bi woma o kan eboa ema unso utumi communicate very well, and honestly it's been helping. Inti no anka ni penye no ehun na wan kan share na anka also to me excel in his communication skills. I think so eboa ma utumi explore in Niama opening niama umpe. You may have certain talents, you may have certain abilities, But at the corner one no, unimbia ube to me edia ye nedia untumi ye. And drana ye can about football. Say ebian cranny be per sports back where say or ye SDA intino. Untumi yes see a cran no quine say untumi call for training on Sabbath. And in share adrin share eba say you can go for trainings during the normal days. And then during the weekends, because obetumi catch or coach and I say nipa or do him so me SD ni intimi emba for trainings. If that person is a very good mentor, or person will excel it will feel now the person will help you to understand. The person better was say that aspect, no. I think so about my to me discover our strength. Everyone has a strength and everyone has a weakness. Me say me to me draw. Ebia sami to me etro. Inti se yenya obi amana a direct in yen talents, no. A boy me to me say me wo ahoden wo we ho me wo ahoden we ho ba we me nya de wo ho nte bia se mesua bibi a ebe boa me ama metumi achieve fine. If I can't learn anything to do it, and maybe I'm dropping, I'm a pay baby for. There are other benefits, but these are the major ones. No, yeah, can mention, and you'll be a to me. I am mentor. Not everyone can be a mentor. Oh, ye penyumu, company be more, and I say organization be more, and I say impo ufie krana. And on chese oh ye mentor. And on chese oh ye mentor. And on chese obetumi a coach obi and I said direct obi. Ya ka say mentor obi a owo experience a specific area and I say a given area. O support o encourage o mentee no. Say no obetumi I'm managing his own learning abilities and I said the potentials. I think so all developing his skills. Now we're improving the performance to become the pakra or no per se or yeah. Inti say uyo be a untumi need these qualities you can't say you are a mentor. Because you mentoring someone, it's not about you. But nemo ni pakrona o coaching and I say o directing no. Obi a wa asase so ehia obi so obeboa na amane hu beyond nya ohun sisi ya ye wo zumi so enya ye fiti ya na ye beye sene ye tie wo ha no. We learn from people, we learn from things. Even mentoring no and I say mentor no, it's not even only a human being. Nipan kwan to me your mentors. The books we read, the things we communicate with can also be mentors to us. For you to become a mentor and I say to mentor someone, you need to have some skills. You need to have some skills. I was to me ya obia utie. Say obia bounchain. Oh Tanti Rhoda. Uye teacher ni. Me share me ho me person me ye teacher ni. But say ni. Abra me come ma say madna say me ka bibi a chew am pese oboa me ma me identify me potentials no. You should be someone na obetie. And yes, I make kasa na won kasa na say wo de backfire me who say na me no. But you should be someone who listens. Obi a wutie. And one thing about communication is when you're communicating with someone, you are able to flow. And that's why you are able to tell the person or trust the person. Utumi can be train pakrono. I think so also when you empathy. Say can empathy. I said utumi feel ma nkrofo and I say pakrono o mention. And I say o de won kwa de bia won kwa, but at least you should have but your empathy tree in the crab kind of say. Obi mbwa me kakra.
Sema.
Also to me enyatima. I think so also to me ebisa open-minded questions. You shouldn't be close-minded. At least also to me explore beyond the box, outside the box. Let's say questions they should be somewhat bringing the person down, but at least to me when the or to me explore in the ideas and also in the thoughts. And also you should be self-aware of onyema. You mentioned it's not about you, but rather about the person. If someone points something to you as a mentor, now I was to me analyzing who say, oh, hey, Bia. My mentors na me drum ho na me who say mpakon de oka na yampa na enyampa. I think you should be able to reflect back. You should be able to reflect back. Ebia me need the pakro edi nkomoyi. It's in order to help the person grow the abilities and also the talents and also the field be for the person to grow. So far, is it helping or it's not helping? What am I supposed to do? What am I doing that is not right? I think you should be able to ask the mentee to summarize. Abribia, this is usually in a structured environment. Say Abia in a company, and I say input in a class. You should be able to help people now. Oh, no. And to me, Emma who say, oh, so far you share mudi. Say ni say na wabua me home. Say ni say na want to me home. And also you should be able to separate issues. And for personal issues, embeha ni pakona or mentor no. Everyone has issues. And I say, you are mentoring about more than one person. You should be able to separate them. And far away them bebo way and far away obiawo who's an American obiawo certain traits are different from each other. So you should be able to separate them from one another. And that phase you should be able to clarify. So only me aiding comma, you should be able to make certain things understandable. And also to recognize incongruence. It was someone who said, oh, kita with mini about nipakrowe at least my words and my actions, no, it should match what I'm saying. I sorry them or be out sorry penny. And as a leader, no, you are a mentor to omudi wase. Intino at ubejina pulpit so u preachy. And I say we share a group of people who can't say ma. What's our words now who use no? It should match with your actions. And never can say, then you are behaving otherwise. All right. Your Bible mo your some mentors and leaders are nyame efa in order to support and I say promote his kingdom. Yeshe Exodus your Moses and Joshua. Abra nyame efra Moses say onko fa Israel for enko bosha asase so no. Atete kwe bebre ebai. But Emersu say Moses ewu no. Nyame enja Israel for no kwa. Nemum odi obi ebeshe na nine, that's Joshua. And then Joshua replacing Moses no. Nyame ebwano. Nyama Moses nini na no. Odi su pepe besan say onya obi papa emmanuel mentor no ntino otumi ede Israel for no ekodru boshe asase so afenso ye hwe Elijah ni Elisha so a abra nyame eba befa Elijah akọ no Elisha got double portion of Elijah ahoodin no nkanza ahoodin no he got a double portion. And Emra said Elijah wouldn't want Elisha to follow him to certain places because of enyema na ohun anaso peso osua every mentor no hono. He was ready and willing to go wherever he went. And he became, me kind of say, even more than a mentor. No. There are other Bible leaders and also people who were very good mentors to almost followers. No. Even till date, Jesus is a mentor to we Christians, even to non-Christians. In some of the way he lived his life. Say a per se osro and I say a per se heaven nibia. I was saying to me Yesu, and he led a very good life for us. You have Paul ni Timothy, Jonathan, any David, Esther is doing a talent, abilities. Now who of the SCV, the Jews. The buy say Papa form they are actors. And then Denzel Washington was a very good actor to this young man who died very sadly. Chadwick Boseman, Wakanda movie now. It's one of the movies we all know him for that. Abrantie onya admission to in fact a drama school no, and as a movie school, me kind of sad. He couldn't go because Nasika Semwaiden. And this man was his mentor. Me reading the article back when he was like, this man was the dopest mentor, and I said dopest man he has ever met. Then so Washington was a man who helped him. Otua for no me can say fees no. Emma need to me one of the greatest actors in me can say see how we for ye name no say he was a very good actor because he had someone who he was learning from. After to see if mami for me we ya see na ye hu omo. That's Oprah Winfrey and then Maya Angelou. That's how I can pronounce it. Maya was a poet and then a writer. And then only Oprah Winfrey Asia in the 1970s, Muhono. Abrana Winfrey started a career. No? And then from the article I read, no, Winfrey says she played a major role in her becoming who she is now. Even though she's dead now, of feeling the spirit with her every time. It's because there are things that we can learn from our mentors that may be good and then may be bad. In us choosing someone to be our mentors, we should be able to know, say, nipa krowe a me fan no say me mentor no. One, obetumi aboa me ama ma excelling, and I say my identify innate skills be a woman more. Is that person going to help me succeed? Is that person going to help me learn new things? Is that person going to help me to achieve my goals? See, I can't say or be a mentor. You play a certain role as a mentor. One, you are an advisor and then a coach. Utufu, o train pakona or follow no in yema e wase oye, o guide no, and I think so in the most important way, you give feedback. So when to me man pakoni feedback, the person wouldn't be able to know say, oh, why am I fastly? Boame and I say boame. I think so. I was a oye obia o champion as a oye cheerleader to your mentee. Say obi sue free ho. Now wa shining crying. Money who say I the cry all ye cry like in fast obi or obe to me aya ebuna bem. Intina was oye obi out to me encourage you mentee no or supporting in any way, emotionally, physically. Now who mentor one who are being to me no. And as I will aspect you should be able to help the person and then encourage the person and as I support the person. Obi ha ebia or you're very shy. But otumi atunyum and I say otumi recite a poem and I say otumi enye maybe I also performing in front of a group of people. But it be a very idea. As a mentor, you should be able to help the person come out of his or her comfort zone. Also to me explore using the talents, no. We are saying man saying na who say and nipakrowe at the cry na me ediduane mu or the ye juma empo de je akra. After so what's to me use resources and also to me recommendations. As a mentor, no, resources can be in a form of money, in a form of books. It can be in a form of you even introducing the person to other people. It shouldn't be so one, but at least introduce a person to other people more than you. In that way, you are being a good mentor to your mentee. I think you should be able to be a devil's advocate and then truth sayer. No one wants to be reproached. And I say be a big nima and I say be bisa. But say if you are willing to learn from someone, and I say if you are willing to learn and then use your talent to excel, I should be able to accept anything be or be cultural. You accept an interest in the pakra kind to but at least see she show muna who say ampa the pakra asemi okay ampa na yampa. And you being a mentor, you should be able to do that. And let's say be the pakra me can me bube fu me can and I say mean to me can. If it's right, you say it. If it's wrong, you say it. Ebia anamoya wuti. Tisese nendra na asante kase nanko nyanko be footballer meaning say sa no kind dia but because say na oya SDA ni na ne mama wasn't willing to allow him to go and then play on Sabbath ama meaning say buna be mo anasesa. She being a mother no is playing the role as a mentor. Ebia kwan ya wo fasu obey footballer one sha onya mesum ebeye basa nti o de me enhwe se bia obetumi aye bibi fofora do to me bibi fofora then we take that and then we work on it after so as a mentee no wa woje in fact in church and I say yeah oje coaching every mentor no also some responsibilities be also way. It's not only that you taking something from the mentor, but you should be able to also give. Sena ebe encourage o mentor no amana akoso aye dia oye no. You a mentee, you should be able to identify your initial goals no, and then you measure your success from your mentoring relationship. Ebia me teaching example me teaching running example me call school person me teaching me na mako ne nemu ye kire ma de me teachers tu me fo se man brem ho ase ensua from them I cannot be the teacher I want to be. Obi he or she is not a born teacher, but osua enyema efri obi ho ema ne boa no mani to me ebeye chire ni mapa ebia me pese me ye ejumtuni pese me ye any other thing fanasa my 30 goals. These are what I'm supposed to do, these are what I'm not supposed to do. Quite when I was in pass, quite when and what's in the pass when ya obi a all church. Along the line, you should be able to measure. Ebia, me start here no. not me say, not me say. To see my bedroom say, then na aboa me, then na emboa me. Then I made to me afa ka dia me yen ho na aboa me. Should I continue on this path or should I choose another path? I think so also we are open to and then seek feedback. Oh, opinion patcher, I die doing come away, me no doing come away no. Mantin can be more, and I say mantin free hope you more. And I say, oh, opinion, I don't know catch me say, if I say ni say no. Mate na sisi anso we the same. So you should be able to receive and then ask for feedback. You should be able to approach the person. You should be able to approach the person and then get some feedback in order for you to excel. You know, the air panel say, "Ube excel, ube excel, or there, ube so where you now, so you should take an active role in your learning, and then help drive your process. It shouldn't be only you learning from someone, but actively take part in it. So person will turn you, and that's all you're musician, or person you're artist, or person you're doctor, or person you're any other thing. And then you're going to school. Who's your idea? I was say odi uhu ehye adekronim. It shouldn't be say ebia, it could be say ebia your parents are forced to do those things. But they see from afar what you can do. Me kaita mana me what SS, maybe call SS no. Yenya admissions no. And then me kwehwe school no. Course of it wasn't a course I chose. And lucky for me, one of my uncles was living around and not only in school, more like not yet at mom, so they knew him. So we went course now, mommy. A week passed by, 2 weeks, and then we started classes. Me call class no, me see I didn't who say, oh, so course no to me, it's not something difficult. At least I am able to do it. So let me continue doing it. And then I continued. So later on, me uncle never said, "Oh, my best son course." And I was like, "Oh, my mom wants to son," because it's something I've realized I can do. And honestly, CFA, I'm gonna say from 1 to 5 or the 10. Me can say 10. I wouldn't brag, but about 10, 1 to 10 people in the class. I was among the best because I was excelling. I didn't know I had that innate thing in me. I didn't know I could do it. But when I started learning from it, and I realized, oh, Saturday we met to me into my main year. And till date, it has really helped me. It has really helped me wherever I go, and I'm able to use that talent anywhere I go. If I hadn't taken any active role in course, I wouldn't know say these talents are in me. Sansu na won so okaya emre bia na okoye bibi na ka pese oye bibi but when to me then you realize say oh dem ma memfa me ho shame na me ye odo ho shame no ho say sa ade we obetumi aye. Obviously, you should be able to schedule and attend mentors conversation, whether formally or informally. Send an making. Say, ABA, your company, you should be able to have a meeting with the mentor. How are you progressing? Is it going good? And I say, is it going bad? What other steps should you take? What other things what's I will withdraw from? It could be even in your homes. Our parents can be our mentors. Our siblings can be our mentors. Even in our neighborhood, no be or what area obey to me, I am your mentor. And we should be able to have this connection and as a relationship. Anytime the person is available, to be able to get feedback from the person. And also the last thing is follow through on commitments and then take informed risks as you try new options and then behaviors to support your career and as a developmental goals. You should be committed. You should be committed. Say one fan and shema, you won't be able to achieve anything. It won't go to me to me a bubble, to me a draw. You can perform certain operations. You can do other things. But if you are not committed to it, you can never excel. Me fiteni, fix a car, fix other things. But you cannot excel in that part. Na I say, fit away on Adam be me car come ano. Oh sa me cry sa say I the tailor way onyade. If you're not committed to it, you can never excel in it. And if you don't take risk, every risk taker be no excel. I didn't mistrust me ya engagement. Why nya better no who say e be ejuma na engagement. So you should be able to take certain risks, like be willing to take them in order to help you grow, whether in your career aspects and also in your personal aspects, in terms of talent and abilities. Your mentors who are toxic. So you can't toxic like say they buy a normal way. When something is toxic, that means the thing is very bad to our health. So there are people who can be very toxic in mentoring us. So we should be able to identify them. If you want to be a very good mentor, you should know, say, I shouldn't be self-focused. I should be able to encourage. I should be reliable. I should have a good listening, skill. I shouldn't be someone who doesn't admit to my weakness. And also, I should have boundaries. Me being your mentor doesn't mean, say, your personal life, I can speak about it anyhow, and I didn't know. Only way didn't come on. I didn't know. There should be boundaries. I think so. You shouldn't be someone who share too much. Nipakon a trusted woman. Into no new abedi in kobo. Into before for abana or pewohonium dia. You shouldn't tell the person about the other person. If it's you using it as a teaching mode and as a teaching media, you should know how to share it. I think so. You shouldn't be someone who anywhere, like in front of people. I said because they're the superior or church and I didn't know. Anyhow, who mentor no crano, pay him ka. Nipakono is be beautiful. I don't say what say or tia no microphone say, yeah, you are the boss. No, it shouldn't be that way. And also, you shouldn't lack a sense of humor. Say, you'll be for be personal, be serious. Minya sure so be to me about chain, abeka so mpese me hu bibi mpese misua bibi on. At least I will say, sometimes do how to me be a serious keke. Now was mostly nani pakon etumi eba on chain. And I say pakon etumi sua bibi e free hono. Say they be why you serious. Why I don't think that people are going to like your personality and then will learn from you. And also, you shouldn't be someone who doesn't give helpful advice. If it will be out the bema obino, I was say a year, dear ebe buani pakrono amane tumpon. It shouldn't be always things that will drag the person down. The amai chiche mufoi and run and mabuba bosun. There were some people, some mentors who are busy bees. I bring you a person who need share be our busy. Money look say like without him or her, no, you can't achieve it. You know, they be our busy. They be our busy. At least make time for your mentee. People are busy though. Like, oh yeah, Juma, you are working. You have a family. You have your free time. But at least if you want to be a mentor, you should have time for your mentee. No matter what, out within those busy schedules, you should, even if it's just a few minutes, because maybe the person may need a certain advice there, and you're very urgent. Maybe you're not available, or you're not available. It wouldn't help the person. A bit to me, I'm in Papa in Emma like in when I wake back when I may pen in the ABF or Jabre filled where I choose, so it's not going to help me because they be busy. I want to also have a free time. It's ABA. The actions I'll portray, it may be similar to me maybe in the near future, which isn't so. And some mentors use their mentees as slaves. It's not simple say Monsieur be free running, oh. And koto we bra hwe me ba no mame no aduane mame say doing this nipa kono esua ade afiri ho no nkyerɛ sɛ ɔyɛ wakoa. We are all servants, but that doesn't mean say ɛwɔ sɛ ɔma nipa kono ɛyɛ wakoa. Osua bibi afiri ho nti wo kra na ɛwɔ sɛ ɔyɛ very humble ɛma nipa kono esua bibi firi ho. So ɔyɛ ɔho boss etumi bu nipa koro na bem etumi ka nipa koro na hye ema ne ntumi peja ewo dia opese oye ho. And some mentors are very controlling, so can asem na we ndi so a ni bukra to me fu every decision be and I say everything be concerning you kra no e was say I was say onya me can say the last say in it, which isn't so, and I said shouldn't be so. Oh boy nipa kono o de wadwen kyereba na nipa kono so de wadwen kyere aba. Eye den kra eye nipa kono talent, and I say nipa kono e na epe bibie free ho. O sua ono nkyere say e wo so oye te say wo. But sometimes we want our mentees to be like us, which is very bad. The Pakone with different abilities, the Pakone with different character personalities. The person can never be like, even twins are not the same. It's also I was said bibi baby no also. And also, you criticizing, you should but you in criticizing, you should be very, very, very careful. You should be very, very, very careful in criticizing. Everyone has a shortcoming. Everyone has a weakness. Everyone has a strength. Well, abilities different from Obi. The outmedia will different from the background. I won't say that. Oh yeah, if I say. Scientist, maybe a nurse, or a doctor, or a music director, or a artist. The Paconus be from Abia or side of or name dear no. Though it is linked to it, no, it can be different. Abia, you're a sculptor, and then I'm even say if I'm an artist, I draw, you sculpt. But ABL features now all sculpting. No? I can draw them. It doesn't mean that I was saying museum na me best say who to me etonium. Or genre of music na different from me dear. Or voice notes and also voice range different from me. Museum na non say I was saying me yes Obia will quite to me excelling. So in criticizing, you should be very, very careful. All right. This is my last slide. Then I make from the beginning. Yes, just because you have seniority or hold a position of authority, it doesn't mean that you are qualified to be a mentor. A mentor should be an individual that has experienced both hardship and success that can benefit a potential mentee, regardless of their hierarchy or rank. Intino, sa oye penimu anasa onye penimu. I was to me and you don't say oye mentor, but at least sa obwa o mentee, amana excel. And also, I was to me share successes and hardships are all firm. As a mentor, no obwa o maintain money e believe you on ho. E money boosting the confidence. Say ono aware, more aware of ne ho, or taking responsibility for na brabo, and also actively deciding on the direction rather than leaving it to chances. Inti say we mentor no. Say obwa obi no. E also to me bwa o mentee no. Money self-aware or taking responsibilities, nothing, or taking active role in order to excel. I want a talent and as any ability. So, nyame ensure kakra so. Amen.
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 Okay. Sister Philo, you do asi bebre we disua wo di afemo. Afe ye behwe ni age question any contributions. Se bi wo ho nko a. Mo ambusa me amebusa bi.
Tanti weda mpacho mitimi bem mensa wasro.
Me pa try.
Me pacho medasi. Pacho ya dasi sister so adisua kuni a wode amaye nyina. Na na de na meka say ye youth for no babo modern na bebre na mo abaso pa because in church a wode amaye die. Komo so kebe bo mo pa. Na ya awufu yi kakra me kana me de ahye nyina ehu nkwan ne. Nimdia ye sister de amaye ni mre ni say awufo yesre. Wode me sra ma ye nyina. Se mo fare kura ni so a na se wo hwehwe mu wo ya sorry kura ye wo mu yi a ye gidi koi na me du mu or the mentors bebre na adua na sorry ama yen chese wo hwe eba let's say academic trend a ye wo bebre a teacher for ona wo sua computer scientist bebre vocational ayi no so ye wo nkofo bebre enti se ye hwe kura na ye mokra ne momu entini nkosa afo ne ho a mesre say ya nkasa so ye nyanku ye ba no ne ye wotimi ye ene ba bia wo pese wo kọ da che e pa na de sua ho a sa mentor for no se woni bi anya nkitahudi a bomodena ne susu ho kire wo ba no na ma wo ba ne nkohu sa ni pa no wontimi mua no because me am a testimony growing up my dad died when I was only 6 years but a mentor be a we know me teacher ni wo school and it me boa me e ma me tini identify my talent which was in relation to sports a boa me ma me tini fast a trend na me tini di university because maybe na nka me papa wo ho a nka won nka bi obey me mentor but na woni ho no me teacher ni tini hu say me fa area we e be boa me na enam se da ne da me tan ne nya san kita ho die no hu die metima ye nti oboa me sa kwan so nti me sre ye hwe na so obi wo asafonimu na se obetimi aboa wo ba in relation to baby call person ko a eni die mu ye mo amofra no wo sa kwan so mpacho me das
Yes we da asi bebre pa. We die yes we finance akofa enye bone. Me for kwenya queen so na mada wona oba besra ye na we dwumedie ye die mu yɛbɔ mo na akɔ aba na afei ɛda mo ase bebree sɛ monkɔ so a na montaa yɛ akyi ɛwɔ dwumadi a yɛredi anim. Afei mɛfrɛ sister she na ɔno so de ne contribution anaa ne question no aba.
Steve, why are you muted?
Oh, fine, Jeremy. Sorry. Atanya minchao. Sani ese kind wa baba disino kama pana. Nanda ho mema se misani ese okasa na oka bibi se o mentor obi a. Also to me I try say that word now using a funny but me borrow. The devil's advocate. Today it looks like I say oh now what one about it say. O ka de na nipa no on say na o ka say as a mentor no na to me kan you man say na o ka na ko fa assemble wo sa na say na o be handle no.
Okay, that's it. Say Efa or Hawa Brown, as in from the mentees aspect, and as from other outward, what does it, people.
Oh, so the me count name or maintain in Tamangwa.
Okay, say na me can you know. Say oye mentee no, you should be willing to learn. You should be willing to learn. Person will be seen. Then you shouldn't have a mentor. But because you want to excel, no. You should have an open mind. You should have an open mind. They say they are ultra quining say, achia, and I'm man. But when you say, and you're beyond the who wow say, say, oh, ebia, send me a mekaye, a yana, and I said, a pine me fast with nana and tene. Obia away tree, and then who sa the crown. It is obi a catcher. Also utumi etie na papa mu wo say oh asemi okay wa ma memfa to ho say ebia me obi a meto nyom but me to nyom bia me wo ahomaso bi wo mu esan say me ka say me pe na me to nyom ana de as mentor na was say me to me pointed that to you. Me pointed that to you don't say me downgrade you or something. I say be a me ya na say baby no. E ya dia me hu won na me ka chom pese wo tu mpon won. Inti no na me tu for na wo say utie. E wo say utie you shouldn't take it in a bad way. That means that you are not ready to excel. Na say be a oh ya no say be a oh ya kosa. Meaning say ma answer wa.
Awabwa. Name the message bisabi me say, Sana wo as the mentor no. What should you do?
What should you do? You should continue to do it till you see a certain change in the person. If that person is not willing to change from it, you have to have a communicate. Sorry, make it brofodon. I was able to me any papono a communicating if the person is willing for you to continue to mentor him or her. Then you have to bring an end to your relationship because say you are not willing for me to teach you. That means say mean to me in country then maybe go somewhere else for the person to mentor you.
Yeah, wabwa pa nyame sure time that's it. Oi.
Epato, worry.
Eba chama you that's it sis.
Okay, na me de ketewa bi ka de o kan no ho. Answer woman to be. What I will say is good so be giving a feedback and I be asem ne sene sitie no without hiding it and I say wo kata kata so you go straight to the point. But what we are supposed to do as ABA mentors and as a mentor no so we should have a constructive criticism. Wo criticize you bia and I will can send be a na our choice of words anyhow we be go about no bet me give you negative or good feedback enti no ye tone any ye nneoma bi no ebetumi ama ade no attain good and answer attain bad because nipa no ebi asani abesi aka no ebetumi ama wahu ne se o no kreba o kan say ntin mefa wahu ntin I think say it will be about our choice of words and not really bringing the person down but actually helping the person to improve and also be enhance ne skills na say experience na we hear through honom no saa kakra na me de beka ho. Me pa atwa ne be frɛ sister Sheila me pa atwa ba no na opanini so oboa no ho.
Tanti Reda, I'm say okay, nansa mienu na nka mebeka in support of Tanti she asem bisa no bisa and I'm say waka constructive criticism. The fact that we play the devil's advocating does not mean that you play with words. As I say, we share words, I will choose carefully. But ye nimpa na enfumso ewo ye hunti. Sometimes we are carried away by our emotions. It could be say you have had a bad day, stress near dinner doson. Between you and your mentee, no, and you might imagine someone as I go bad. One of nature's principle. Me mane nye dimma se obeka sorry. Even though one away penny and as I one away mentor no. A year interest a good who set a good example cry at the man. Who say wafuma. Go back to your mentee. Me pacho, manu pie. We dear, man can ye, fache me. Me sorry. Kwanya me fast so ne kasaye. I got carried away. Now the apache na ye ato ye is a good example. You are leaving your mentee. Pacha membu akakra me de come me that's it.
Sister Mpacho da si bebre me pacho brani me pacho fa de ne bra.
Hello, thank you. Pacho, my contribution here just in a single part say yeah, mentorship assembly and the questions are around say nipakon say na obeya nipakon and our mentino ebetie and as obeshin in crime which means is the right example. But I just want to point out about Adiaba could be maybe it has been said already because I joined late. They said that you and yet obia na etumi. I mean there are 3 levels. Say who impact you obia. There's the teaching and then there's the mentorship and then there's the coach. Interestingly, it looks like most mentors can be teachers, but not every mentor is a coach. Teacher no or normal instructions or the reward and punishment in the year juma. Mentor no send as Auntie Philo explain and thank you very much. And no a bit above say me who ejuma ne ye na me who send a me build me who now that I know the basics no send a me to me etintim ewumu. But se me tintim ewie and then we are talking vision. Say how do I scale talent na me wono skill na me wono how do I scale? Some person me entrepreneur, some person me could do director from a manager, and some person me could do CEO for a manager. That is when a coach comes in. Now, a lot of times, mentors play a false role of a coach and then start becoming frustrated because as a mentor, you almost assume the shoes of Nipakono. And there's an assumption, say, Nipakono will do baby. They are all kind of easily. But that is not the case always for the mentor. And that is where you have to sometimes step down to become the teacher and also find ways. The truth is you don't know it. And I say, we will all find a way of discovering it. I see that a lot in Mimi field where when you certificates and that's we are training, no. But adiana ejumana kasaro de mana untumi enye de enye. Then you move away from becoming a mentor, which assumes say to step down and say yenye adie we. Then you become a teacher. Say nipakono mature as nipa ko no mature onni made ne say tinti made no so then or per se onya bibi fofo onya additional responsibilities and also onya additional or supportive onya vision bi or person do pa, then you can easily step back into being the mentor. And then at the point where nipa ko no etumi enya ne basics no, you can become then the coach, because I know at that point you are not in the field with the person. You are really just setting an example and sharing your personal experience also, and as many experiences as possible with the person, and sometimes even pointing them to other people. To me, abua. And that's why I like the point at Ante Philomina making, about your friend saying not a mentor, and yes, we are protective. Say nipa kono could be for a while. Now I are insecure. But actually, once you become a coach, you are open to that. You actually broker relationships. Fast okay, minim nipa we. Onim adie we ade potin we are here. Maybe a person business plan. A person we why business plans with people in Africa and also with people in Germany and in Europe and then you become a bit of a coach, which is a facilitator. Because so it's really a mentor. No, you have that high expectation of the person. Sometimes you also have to step down to become the teacher, but also be careful. Say you don't push the person along and think say you can coach the person when the person is not really ready. Brian, if I couldn't ready, say obey it, coached. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Time on the coca. Me pamacho ye wa kwanya kakra. Questions o. Okay, now me be buse binanka. Ye de ya try. Me pacho in this case nanke ye de we say moba me akwanya ne kakra. Stafilo ene mpamcho bia eyo bi na asende ama me pacho. Yeah. Okay, yes, a time near appointing. Kame busa we ketua we no ede aye we. Me patunti aha no role model ene obi oye mentor. Enso ye be ne dantem. Afesu menti any apprenticeship. Because I say at a point na se bi ko rabim. Na se ebisu piem nti ena nanka said ebe ye mu beda honom bebre ama ona oti no.
Pacho, to me answer na.
Me feel 1 minute for my.
Patron.
See, a castle will be a role model. The person can also be a mentor. Oh, Shan, Esua, baby, a free no, Eddie account 1 year maho. Someone who is a mentor can be a role model. And also, you being a mentee, it's also apprenticeship. Men kind of because and also Usua, baby, a free, Eddie account talent. Me understanding and the that's it.
But okay. Emerenisa. Inti yebe moving on. Yada ubi biara si. Ewo akwenya kesi a munya ya mode ba fidie so. Yada onyankopon so asepa bebre ono kwa na sedan di kan de ma no. So obo aye no ma ya hoden. Ni sister Philoso nim dia ode ba bedi adwuma di yenim. Na fo mpanyimfo so akwenya omode ma yen. Si eni dwumadi sonko. Ya hoho so amobae. Yeda masi bebre. Yeswe mo say the bia no mobeko so ano mabaye ne dwumo ho pa. E wana motu no. Ye ni so. Okay. Yen chere ho mesre na se secretary e wo nsemfo bi omo pese omo de maye ya ansa ne akwa. Aye. What day I sing Yankopon in Samaria Cody na afei Sister Philo so ọba bɛkyerɛ so ɔnkɔ so ama no animdeɛ bebree. Yɛde
Right.
obi biara ase.
Emma Bachoma Yamompae. Empire yɛda wo ase bio akwanya adedom yɛn wɔ adesua ɔnam ɔba so ɛde ama yɛn nyinaa. Yɛkyerɛ sɛ boa yɛn na yɛnyɛ akyerɛkyerɛfoɔ amapa. Boa yɛn nso na yɛnyɛ asuafoɔ amapa. Yɛde yɛahɔhoɔ nyinaa hyɛ wɔn nsa sɛ kɔto ahyɛ obi biara. Nyambɔ kyerɛ yɛ dwumadie yɛbɛtoa so. Ma honhom ne yɛntena anadekwan mu nyinaa wɔ Yesu Kristo din mu nti. Amen.
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 Nyankopɔn ka obiara ho. Ɔtena so yɛbɛhwɛ mo anim.